Hi kids, welcome back to the Terrific Twins, and today we've picked out a special story for you, and it is Alice in Wonderland. One summer day, a young girl named Alice found herself trapped with a history lesson while her sister read of ancient kings. Alice crowned her cat Dina, and the day was simply too splendid for lessons, thought Alice. As soon as she could, Alice slipped away from her lesson. "Oh, Dina," she sighed, "in my world there would be no lessons. All would be nonsense." As Alice dreamed of her wonderland, a well-dressed white rabbit ran past. I'm late! The white rabbit cried. Alice raced after him. He must be going to something awfully important, like a party, she told Dina. They followed the white rabbit into a rabbit hole. Alice squeezed into the rabbit hole, even though she knew she did not belong there. After all, she said, curiosity often leads to trouble. Alice's voice disappeared into a dark hole along with the rest of her. Alice floated down through darkness as a lamp drifted past. Alice turned it on and looked about her. Alice landed. A pair of white rabbit feet raced past her. "Oh, wait, Mr. Rabbit, please," Alice called. She raced down the hallway as the white rabbit slammed the door behind him. Alice followed him through smaller and smaller doors. "Curiouser and curiouser," Alice said. At last, the smallest door, Alice twisted the knob. A nose wiggled under her hands. What a strange place, Alice thought. She asked the doorknob if she could go through. "Sorry," said the doorknob, "you're much too big." "Why don't you try the bottle on the table?" the doorknob suggested. The glass bottle labelled "Drink Me" appeared. With each sip, Alice shrank. Now she could fit through the door, but the door was locked. Tiny Alice could not unlock the door. A magic cookie made her into a giant Alice, but giant Alice couldn't fit through the door. She began to cry, and her tremendous tears flooded the room. Alice shrank herself again and floated through the doors and keyhole. A wave swept Alice into a very odd race. Fish and birds around the dodo trying to get dry while the waves kept them wet. Alice spotted the white rabbit again. "Mr. Rabbit," she called. Alice chased the white rabbit until she was deep in a wood. Instead of finding the white rabbit, she found a pair of twins. "I'm Tweedledee and I'm Tweedledum," said the other. Alice saw Tweedledee and Tweedledum and following the white rabbit. "I'm curious to know where he's going," Tweedledum sighed. "It can be dangerous, so don't be too curious." "I am sure you're right, but nevertheless," said Alice, but nevertheless hurried off to find the white rabbit. To Alice's surprise, the white rabbit found her. "I'm late," he said. "Get my gloves." Inside the cottage, Alice found some cookies labelled "Eat Me." Happily, Alice helped herself. Soon she felt herself growing until her arms and legs stuck out of the white rabbit's cottage. "Help! Monster!" the white rabbit ran for the dodo. The dodo suggested burning the house. Alice ate a carrot from the rabbit's garden and she shrank to a tiny size again. "Oh dear," puffed Tiny Alice, "I'll never catch him." Alice ran out of the garden and came upon a caterpillar making smoky vows. "Who are you?" he asked, puffing out a U. Alice blew his smoke away and blew the caterpillar right out of his clothes. Alice was worried until she saw that the caterpillar had become a butterfly, and as the new butterfly flew away, he told her, "One side of the mushroom will make you grow taller, the other side will make you grow shorter." Alice broke 2 pieces of the mushroom. "I wonder which side is which," she said. With a shrug, Alice bit into the first mushroom piece. Normal sized again, Alice tucked her leftover mushroom pieces in her pocket. She searched for some signs of the white rabbit. She did find signs, but they didn't help, as Alice was puzzled which way to go. She heard singing. Alice looked up and saw a large mouth grinning down at her. Bit by bit, a body of a Cheshire cat appeared. "If you'd really like to know where," he said, "the white rabbit went that way. Of course I were looking for the white rabbit, I'd ask the Mad Hatter. Or there's the March Hare. Of course, he's mad too. Most everyone's mad here." Alice walked on till she heard more singing. That must be the Mad Hatter and the March Hare. As the tea for two twosome wished them merry unbirthday. Alice tried to join in, but the pair of them shouted, "No room! Oh, I'm very sorry, but I did enjoy your singing." "You enjoyed us singing?" said the March Hare. "What a delightful child." The Mad Hatter swept off his hat and wished Alice a merry unbirthday. There on top of his head was an unbirthday cake. "Now blow off the candle and make a wish," said the Mad Hatter. As if the answer to Alice's wish, the white rabbit appeared. "I'm late," he said. The Mad Hatter and the March Hare decided that the rabbit's watch must be broken, so they fixed it with a bit of jam and lemon. The white rabbit came around and called out for the Queen of Hearts. "Her Imperial Highness, the Queen of Hearts," called the white rabbit. The crowd cheered, and as the Queen entered trailing behind, the King cleared his throat. "And the King," the white rabbit added. The Queen spotted Alice. Why, it's a little girl. Now, where are you from? Where are you going?" "I'm trying to find my way home." "Your way? All here is my ways." The Queen calmed down and she learned that Alice played croquet. The Queen loved croquet. All the cards seemed to make sure she won. As the Queen prepared to swing, the Cheshire Cat appeared. Only Alice could see him. "You know," he told Alice, "we could make her really angry." "Oh no," said Alice. "Stop!" The Cheshire Cat tangled the Queen's skirt and tripped her up. She flopped over and her skirt flapped. As for the Queen, she hit herself up. "Someone's head will roll off for this." She bellowed at Alice, "Yours." The King pulled on the Queen's skirt. Couldn't she have a little trial first? The Queen said yes. The white rabbit read the charge. Alice had caused the Queen of Hearts to lose her temper. "Are you ready for your sentence?" the Queen asked Alice. "Sentence? Oh no, there must be a verdict first." Sentence first. Off with her head." Alice found the mushroom pieces in her pocket and she stuck them into her mouth. She grew until she towered over the Queen. "I am not afraid of you." she screamed at the Queen. Suddenly, Alice felt herself shrinking. "Oh, off with her head!" the Queen shouted. The court of cards closed in on Alice. She raced away into a maze. She escaped the maze and found herself back in the Dodo's beach race. The cards chased Alice down the beach. In the wisps of smoke, Alice saw the doorknob and his little door. Alice tugged the doorknob. "I simply must get out, but you are outside." Alice peered through the keyhole where she was sleeping in a meadow and where she had heard her history session. "Alice!" Alice's sister woke her up. "It's time for tea." Alice looked around. Her Wonderland with its angry queen was gone. Alice shook away. Her dream smiled. The day was simply too splendid for nonsense. The end. Hope you enjoyed the story. Please like and subscribe.